Canals, cannabis, and call girls. Three initial things that often come to the minds of some when they think of Amsterdam. These are colorful themes for a city, but not all descriptions many city planners work to achieve. As we walked the streets of this port city, we were told the canals were the only mentioned attribute the city leaders want to advertise. Amsterdam is a city that can seem a bit schizophrenic. The Constitution declares it the capital of the Netherlands. However, the government is seated in The Hague, about 40 miles away. The Netherlands is often called Holland, but many take issue with that name. Still, the country's websites for tourism and trade are holland.com. Amsterdam began about 700 years ago as a small fishing village on the Amstel River.
For the dam on the Amstel. So this is actually where the name Amsterdam comes from. Amstel Dam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the 1600s, Amsterdam was considered the richest city in the Western world. Then its significance faded about 200 years later when Napoleon sucked it into the French Empire. Amsterdam's city symbol is triple X's. They are on flags, storm drains, even on the city's coat of arms. The symbol has nothing to do with the racy lifestyles embraced by the city. In fact, the meaning of the symbol is in dispute. One story is they represent the ancient dangers of the city: fire, floods, and the Black Death. Another version originates the symbol dating back about 500 years to the shields of the region's ruling noble family. Canals are a huge part of Amsterdam. About 200 of them create about 60 miles of waterways crossed by about 1,500 bridges and are home to about 90 islands. We took a boat tour while we were there, and our driver said the city had more canals than Venice. The city planners started digging them back in the early 1600s, 3 main canals circling the city like horseshoes. The fourth was built to help defend the city and manage the water passing through it, heading to the nearby bays in the North Sea. Today, the canals can be occupied by so many boats, the passages become choked with them. Those boats pass by the famous landmarks, like beer magnate Freddie Heineken's De L'Europe Amsterdam Hotel, and the city's famous sidewalk cafes where people often relax with the help of the legalized drug trade. The Dutch approach to drugs is fairly simple. They feel people can decide the matters of their own health. However, not all drugs are legal. Hard drugs like cocaine, LSD, and heroin are illegal, but you can openly buy what they call soft drugs: marijuana, hashish, and hallucinogenic mushrooms for personal use. The Dutch coffee shops along the canals often hand patrons a menu with drugs of the day. And then there is another temptation: sex for sale. Prostitution is legal and regulated. Amsterdam has been long known for its brothels in the red light district, where women showcase themselves in windows they rent to publicize the services they offer. However, prostitution was only legalized in 2000. Since then, many believe it has gone out of control, and the Netherlands has reportedly become a major source of human trafficking. Proponents take issue with that. Every Sunday, markets dot the landscape. They pop up like daffodils in the spring. Another thing you cannot miss are the bikes. If you are not walking around them parked on sidewalks, you are dodging people riding them. Amsterdam has many narrow streets where cars are forbidden, but bikers fight pedestrians for space there. Tourists are warned, stay out of the bike lanes, but if you get caught in one, freeze and they'll likely move around you. We didn't get hit, but we were yelled at more than once by passing bikers. There are more road accidents involving pedestrians and cyclists in Amsterdam than any other city in the country. Pedestrians make up about a quarter of the traffic accidents in the city each year. The biker death rate is slightly higher, at about 28%. Officials reportedly fish about 12 to 15,000 bicycles out of the canals each year. Some were likely thrown in there deliberately, either by the riders or ruffians. Another famous Amsterdam entity is the stock exchange, considered the oldest modern securities market in the world, dating back to the Dutch East India Company in 1602. Our boat driver proudly told us this was where many people bought stock in the Dutch boats because that would spread the risk from storms and pirates to a minimum. He said it made the Dutch powerful shippers. What he didn't mention was the ruthlessness of the Dutch shipping industry. It created the Dutch slave coast in Africa, where they captured and hauled away slaves to be sold in the Americas and elsewhere until the mid-1700s. They also set up trading posts in what is now Jakarta, Indonesia, and the East Indies, where traders were accused of mafia-like violence, including mass murder, to maintain a monopoly over spices and other products.
On the left is the Royal Theatre, Carré. And Carré in Latin means square. So this building is completely square.
Modern Amsterdam and the Netherlands are a charming and enchanting place. The quaint nature of the soggy city attracts more than 5 million tourists to its narrow streets and canals each year. Most residents speak Dutch and English, almost interchangeably. The city is a hub of entry for Europe and a destination for many. Amsterdam is home to a society of liberal thinkers, enjoying life either as it is or in the fog they create for themselves with their legalized drug trade.